Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host, Matt. With me this week is our resident gaming journalist, Eli.
Yes, I am here indeed. How y'all doing?
Our pro gamer, Mike.
Barbecue sauce is pretty good. I'm just letting you guys know while I eat these French fries.
Some spicy opinions
Ketchup
there.
is not as good as barbecue sauce. Also,
And our retro aficionado, Unoclay.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown in effect.
That's my Doom reference because I've been playing Doom for 2 hours today. So what's up, guys? Not retro at all.
Yeah, that was weird. So we'll start off this week with, I guess we'll start off with our tournament and then go to some other announcements. But we'll start off with our Game of All Time tournament.
We should have a theme song. It's like best games of all time in competition.
Oh, you're right. Wait for Labo. I'm gonna write one. I'm gonna write us a theme song when I get my Labo piano. So you.
Oh my gosh.
I would like that. I like that.
I'm not even
It's
kidding.
supposed to be like this epic song, and it's played on like a MIDI keyboard. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, you wait. It's gonna be epic.
It's gonna sound like a children's song. It'll be great.
Like us,
Bro, if it's something on, you have to make it 90s cartoon good. So if we get like a DuckTales-esque or like...
God. Oh my God.
Or,
the best theme song ever.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll lower it a notch. Maybe, let's see. Oh, Danger Mouse Detective? No, not that.
Danger Mouse, all right.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Make it like at least that good. All right?
Danger Mouse, da-da-da. I can do that.
No. You make it like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Good, okay?
Oh my God. This is gonna be tough.
Or Goof Troop. If it's Goof Troop, I'm
Goof Troop.
Anything Disney, basically.
Right.
Yeah, they make really good openings. From what I
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Oh, it's gonna be lit. Labo Clay, baby.
Oh, great. So, since it's been a couple of weeks, I'll re-explain the game because I'm sure some people might have forgotten. Basically, we've all put our games into one tournament that Unoclay thankfully seeded for us, and each week that that we're recording, we're going to go through two different choices and vote on them and go around in a circle in about 30 seconds or less, saying why we voted for each one, and we'll keep going, and hearts will be torn, and everyone's going to be pissed off at some point, and everyone's going to be maybe
I'm always
happy.
mad.
Some will be more pissed off than others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That should be the
I'm already
tagline.
always mad, so don't worry about it.
Going to be pissed off. I've been pissed off every round so far. Like three of my favorite games.
Like,
Yeah, all of us.
You vote for you put Jenga in, and it's like, oh man. I'm like, dude, I can't vote for Jenga over freaking like Galaxy 1, and you're like, come on, bro. Do you remember that one time?
Okay, now that you said
okay, what?
now that you said Jenga, I'm gonna retroactively stick boom blocks in there.
With these crazy games.
All right. So this week, the two games that are going head to head are The World Ends with You and Kingdom Hearts. Just the first one. It's not any of the other ridiculously named titles.
Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts is technically the title. But yeah.
Yes. We'll. So because there's four of us, and because what? Wow, I can't speak. We'll reveal which two people voted in these games, providing they remember. I'm gonna bet Mike voted in Kingdom Hearts because I'm pretty sure he's the only one who plays the game.
Because he's a weeb.
Yeah, he is.
Weeb trash, boys. I mean, not a weeb. Come on.
And, who voted for The World's End with You? I'm guessing that's Eli.
Yeah, that was me.
Cool. So which one of you wants?
Because that's definitely a far less Japanese game.
Yeah.
The game that's based on freaking real places in Japan with actual references to it is less Japanese than Kingdom Hearts. What lies are you feeding already, Eli? Don't listen to this man, alright? Troy 2018. Okay?
Oh my God.
Alright, I'll go first since I'm
Hold
already
on.
all riled up.
Let me
the
start the timer in 3, 2.
Wait, how much time do you get? 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
All right.
Mike, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts 1, probably the greatest action RPG, still relevant to this day. Brings enough hype that Kingdom Hearts 3 is always rumored and people are looking to make the next Kingdom Hearts. It's had games on every single system. Kingdom Hearts 1 was the real 3D action JRPG that brought not only Disney and Final Fantasy together, but like a whole audience and a whole generation of people. And fun factoid, Kingdom Hearts gave The World Ends With You new life with Kingdom Hearts 3D because Tetsuya Nomura made that first, Kingdom Hearts, and then they're like, wow, this is so good. TWYD was only influenced from Kingdom Hearts, and guess what? It fell to nothing, and Kingdom Hearts had to give it a pity game with Kingdom Hearts 3 by adding their characters. So
time over.
Damn, good, Mike. When you want to put your thoughts in a box, you know how to do it, dude. Like you that was good. It's good, bro. Like,
thank you.
Oh, all right. Very convincing.
All right, Eli, you can explain why you think The World Ends With You is better in 3, 2, 1, go.
So The World Ends With You was an incredibly innovative RPG because it really took advantage of the dual screen capabilities of the DS. What it did is that it had two different gameplay mechanics on the top and the bottom, but not only was its gameplay like innovative and revolutionary, but its story was incredible as well. I'm going to ding Kingdom Hearts because honestly, it doesn't hold up that well. If you've played it any time in the past, like few years, the controls are stiff. It's not very intuitive. Whereas The World's End With You has a really gripping storyline, really keeps you engaged. It's a long game, but throughout, it's just really interesting. And as I said, the gameplay is really intuitive because it takes advantage of the full DS capabilities.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Fair.
Damn. This is like, I think this is like the best match where it's like the two games are really balanced, like inherently in a way, since we've started.
What? No way. A game that spawned 8 titles from 15 years? Okay? No way. And the fact that the game includes the sub-game in it, okay? And they bring Eli's game into my bigger game, okay?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I'm going to pawn it off onto Unoclay because I haven't made the decision yet.
I know Clay has no clue on either or. So
That's
I'd
okay.
love
I'm about in the same space as he is.
You want me to go next?
Sure.
All right, give me the timer.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I've actually played both these games. I did not finish World Ends With You. I did finish Kingdom Hearts back in the day.
Let's go.
That said, I don't have like extreme love for either game, but I think both games were really interesting. I completely mean that. And this, I still don't know how I'm going to vote as of this second, but I'm going to have to decide within the next 10 seconds. And in my gut, it's so close, but I'm going to have to vote Kingdom Hearts because I like the music better. That's it. That's it. I got to go. And believe me, I have a grudge against Mike, and I don't want to give it to him, but
Hey,
I like the music
no
better.
personal bias. Leave that at the door.
Clay, just message me on the DMs, man. Whatever you want next round.
I'm heartbroken.
That's my vote.
Yo, that was the biggest
Super
bomb
close.
drop.
It's super close. It's super close, but it's going to be Kingdom Hearts for me. So,
Dude, biggest bomb drop of the year is the fact that you play Kingdom Hearts, Clay.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'm surprised you played any of these.
yeah,
I would have bet that Matt at least played more Kingdom Hearts than you did. Like, I would have bet that clean. Like, I would have lost that bet. All right, I would have put like a freaking Monopoly apartment on that. All right?
You're killing me. All right, Matt. Either you're the deciding vote, or we're going back to Twitter for another week, man. What are you gonna?
We'll see.
You got a timer?
And Matt's the demo king, so we'll see what he has.
That I am.
That should be your title, not the host. You're the demo king.
That's so much better than a host. All right, I'll start my timer now. I've played exactly one of these games, and that's Kingdom Hearts. Well, at least one of the sequels, anyway. It's the one where he plays Roxas for like 3 hours, and then they tell you it's all bullshit. So that kind of was annoying and felt pointless. I don't really like the battle system in Kingdom Hearts. I think it's cumbersome and like you have to scratch your head and pat your stomach. So I don't really like it despite liking the visuals. Basically, like an Assassin's Creed game. It looks cool from afar, but then when I play it, I say, oh, this sucks and I don't really like it. I have not played The World Ends With You. It's coming out on the Switch, so maybe I'll try it then. It looks kind of interesting, and I think there might be some musical mechanic, I don't recall, but I'm going to go with The World's End world ends with for you.
What kind of bullshit is this?
I'm just happy I was able to say something
they might have
coherent.
music, so I like music, and so I'm gonna vote for music. Bitch, okay. If my thing does not make it to the next round, I will tell you that Kingdom Hearts 1 theme song is literally praised by human beings, okay, for being one of the greatest songs of all time. Okay, and that's not even, you play Kingdom Hearts 2, where My Sanctuary, that opening is also considered godly, and not even close to simple and clean.
I've heard it in too many anime videos.
Someone's heart was broken.
Yeah.
So it's
Apparently I'm heartless.
So it's a tie, and we're gonna have to go to Twitter, our Twitter followers. For... Oh man!
Last time Matt cheated and went straight to his boy. So
I didn't know. No, say this is what happens. I just went to like a random person that I thought would answer the quickest. They didn't, so I started sending it out to a bunch of other people, and the first person to respond was the one whose vote I took. So that's what I'm gonna do again.
Do that again.
I'll try to get different people this time because I want to get like different people each time. So I'll go with other people first, and then.
But hey, I think Mike, you have a pretty good chance because there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans out there.
There is. But, you know, we can run into Eli 2.0 under his fake account and his fake mustache. It's like not Eli. Matt's like, let me message this not Eli.
Yeah.
A Russian Twitter bot decides our.
I'm on to you, Eli. All right?
Oh man, that's great.
So, if you want to be the tiebreaker, follow us at Just Another Castle, and I can message you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but on a side note of them following the Twitter, which they should anyway, we're behind on 2 weeks. So do we get to do 2 more rounds?
No,
nope.
we'll only do one per round.
I'm so anxious for this to be over. No, this is gonna be all over, bro.
I know, man.
He's like, I just want the disappointment ripped out of me.
All right, so Matt, whenever you get the answer from Twitter, that'll be another one decided by our listeners or our Twitter followers. So for the listeners, maybe it'll be later in the show, or maybe it'll be announced next week if we don't get an answer while we're live here on the air.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is message people, and like even if I don't even know if I'll message it while I'm talking on the podcast, but regardless, I'll just announce it next week or next recording anyway. Speaking of which, I forgot to start off with this. We got our vote for last week's at the end of the podcast last week, so it was a little too far for probably most people to hear. But the winner of that was, I think we already actually said it, was The Last of Us beat out Smash Brothers. And we can put the blame all on Mike because he decided to toy with the game, and now he has to feel punishment for it.
Hey, you got to give it credit. They got to give the only thing I'll ever give it credit is it created this new world where. See how Eli can't even spoil it. I'll get into that after Eli says the game he played. I know the game he played.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
right. To be continued. Okay?
In spite of our best efforts, here we are 20 minutes later.
All right, so we'll get into what we've been playing. I finished Infamous Second Son. It's pretty good. I don't remember what. It's been so long since I played the originals. I don't know if... I can't really say which one is better, but I feel like I would have liked the originals more than the one I played. I did think the new abilities were cool. Like there was smoke, neon, which is a really cool effect, and you can run faster. Video, which was unexpected but interesting. And then concrete, which you get literally at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And by that point, I'm like, I don't really want to play all the other side content because it's just like menial and you don't really get much for doing it. So I was like, I beat the game. I'll do that. I thought about playing it on, the evil mode because basically you just kill everything. And I wonder if you would be able to level up faster because of that, or if they like even it out by saying you have to kill like 10 times as many people as you would have saved before. I don't know how that would work, but it was decent. You can get it for like $20 or so it's not really that bad because it was a launch game for crying out loud. So
it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm not very familiar with this game. What sort of game is it in a nutshell?
It is a third-person action game where
Like a
you
superhero
have different superpowers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I never looked at it. This is a PlayStation 4, I take it.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Neato. Well, it sounds good, and you've played a game, and that is more than some people can say. So, congratulations.
Hey,
I don't have
played
anything
a
to
game
add.
this week.
A game on a game podcast? Gosh darn.
What?
I actually played a game this week. I want to stop taking your crap.
I was poking Eli there a little bit with his his student life and no games and everything like that. But Matt, did you play anything else you want to tell us about? Games maybe that the rest of us know anything about that we could comment on?
You probably won't.
I don't need to hear.
I
Okay,
forget
what
what it was.
Nintendo demos have we played, man? What are we looking
There
at?
haven't been any. That sucks, man. Actually, it's funny when I got my PS4, I was like, okay, let me look at all the demos that they're available because I know like they stopped making demos like several years ago. So I'm like, okay, they can't be that long. And I have like a dozen demos, and I just let it like download over a day, or while I was at work one day because they're like actually huge. It's like this one's 10 gigabytes. I'm like, that's insane.
Jeez.
And that was like one of them. But yeah, I still haven't played like half of the demos I downloaded.
You're funny. You are the demo king. You got to call.
It's
That's
so
how you got to
good.
announce you
You
next
get a
week. The
taste of
demo
a game.
king.
Get a taste of a game and see if you want it or not.
Are you that guy that goes to the bar and like instead of ordering a beer, you ask the waiter that can you get like a taste of every beer? You're like, can I? I don't know. I don't even know if Canadians do that, but it's an American thing. Like bougie Americans do it, where they're like, can I get a taste of that? And you make the bartender run all the way over there and get you this tiny little shot glass of beer, and it's like, pussy, just drink your damn beer, get a whole glass. If you don't like it, wah.
No, I've never heard of
Beer.
that. As far as I know, that's called a shot, and you still have to pay for it.
No. But I'm just teasing. Anyway, that's great. I never do demos. I don't know why. I just don't. Never do that.
I feel you. I download them and I'm like, yeah. The last demo I played was Nier Automata, which is aka a year-old release.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a good game.
yeah, no, dude, it looked awesome. Like I'm just like it's just one of those where I'm like I'm gonna get to it, and then I just like keep forgetting because I'll play other stuff.
Life.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Unoclay, I actually
Nice.
forgot the name of that game that I was so excited to download that I didn't really get to play much. The heck was it called? Something
The Fall?
Unbound. Yeah, The Fall. Yeah, I
The Fall?
basically played
you never
like
get
it
to play
for.
it?
I played it for like 30 minutes or something like that. I might actually restart it.
Mhm.
There's not really much to say on it. It seems like
Mhm.
it'll be introduce some cool things. Combat doesn't seems forced, but whatever. I'll still
Yeah,
play with it anyway.
Yeah, for the listeners, the Fall 2 is what we're talking about, and Matt and I both really liked Fall 1, and Fall 2 is on Switch now. So I don't think they didn't release Fall 1 with it for Switch or anything like that, did they? You'd have to play it on
No.
Wii U or some other, or on Steam or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on like every platform, I'm pretty sure. So it wouldn't be hard to play the first one, which is pretty good.
Yeah, and it picks
So.
up right where you left off. So
Neat.
and it
Neat.
gives you a little cutscene if you didn't play the first one or if you forgot, which I forgot because it's like what 2 years old now at this point.
Yeah, totally.
But
Totally.
yeah,
Totally.
the cutscene easily sums up what you've been playing. So I would suggest playing the first one because it's cool to go through that. But if not, then they have a handy little cutscene for you. But,
like point and click adventure, exciting sci-fi. It's got a great story, and I don't often say that, so it's a neat game.
Yeah. And Eli, you've been playing some games. What have you been playing?
Yeah, so I've been playing Celeste. I'm almost beating it. I'm on the last level.
great game.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty good. So the thing is, I want to talk a little bit about the ratings it's been getting around the net because it's been getting a lot of 10s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know Mike talked a little bit about the rankings that it was getting across the internet. And the reason it's been getting that is because of the people really liked the story and the dialogue and felt it impactful. And I get why it would be. It deals with like depression and I get how it would be relatable to people. But I personally have been fortunate to never deal with that. And so it didn't have the same kind of emotional impact on me when I played the game. It's still a really fun platformer and challenging, and I really appreciate it in those respects. So it's still definitely worth getting. but it just didn't relate to me on that level, and it's so for me it didn't have the same emotional impact. I don't know if that's the way that you felt too, Mike.
No, I'm like,
It's
met
just in.
Eli.
Eli has a perfect life.
Thing, man. Like, I didn't really even think of the story or like get behind it. I was like, oh yeah, there's this thing. Like, I just thought it was like a really good platformer, in my opinion, and I just think its post game is like, I think the reason why it gets high scores for me is I just think the game is, very smooth, very fun to control. Soundtrack's really awesome, and I really like the post game stuff. So it's like, to me, I'm like, oh, good, an indie with actual post game stuff that's not Shovel Knight. You know what I'm saying? So.
Huh. I'm looking forward to playing this. It's very similar from what I've seen to like Meat Boy or to 1001 Spikes, right? Something like that.
Yeah, when it's like Meat Boy, in my opinion, is when you start playing the B-sides, C-sides, aka the post-game stuff. Like, it is like, it's not like you're gonna pick it up and like, oh well, I beat it already, let's do post-game. Like, you're not gonna be like, I average like at least like 110 deaths per like the levels, except for like the first one.
Wow.
And then now I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm probably closer to like 200.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I'm getting for the B-side stuff. I'm getting like 200 deaths per level now and stuff. And
Damn, yeah, this is 1001 Spikes difficulty level for sure. That's exactly how that is.
It's super fun though. Like, it's not frustrating at all. It's like, oh shit, like, you're one of those kind of like, oh my god, I should have did that.
Right. Neat. That's interesting. That's interesting that I didn't really know that people were giving it like whatever high scores for a story, because I just don't think of platformers as having a story. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't care, jump over spikes, dodge fireball. You know what I mean? You don't come to platformers for a story. I didn't know that was part of the appeal to people for it. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I get why it would be appealing for people who relate to it. It's just not for me.
Right.
Yeah, Eli has a
Right.
perfect life.
Apparently. Yeah. Perfect.
Like, I don't know.
Wife.
You people are complaining about.
I mean, I don't come to games for story almost ever. So it's like I say that with pride, but it's really honestly like not like something I try. I just skip past it. I just want to play the game. I don't care about cutscenes and narrative. They mattered in NES when you got like 3 frames of animation and that was the story. Okay, I can pay attention for that long. I'm not even ADHD. It's just like when I'm playing a game, get to the story. So it's interesting for me to even hear this, because like, think about Meat Boy. How long is the narrative for Meat Boy? I don't know, 7 seconds. Like, your girlfriend's kidnapped or whatever. Like, like your baby. I don't even remember. Like, something happens and you got to go rescue him. Okay, perfect. I can get my head around that. Let's go. Like, I'm not usually coming to games like that for a story. So I look forward to playing it. I mean, it's only one of 30 games in my like wish list for Switch at this point. So I'll play it eventually. So neat.
Yeah, and I still think it's very good. So like, that was just one thing where I was reading the reviews and I'm like, I didn't really relate to that as much. But yeah, and the other thing is, though, it's funny how much you start the deaths. The number of deaths you get is totally dependent on how careful you are. Because like, I play a lot of these Twitch-based platformers pretty mindlessly, so it'll be one thing where I die like 10 times in a row the exact same way, and I don't look at what I'm doing wrong, and then the second I like stop for a second, it's like, all right, I'm literally jumping into this spike the same time every single time I'm running through this. I need to not do that anymore. And then,
wake up your brain, bro.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you got to concentrate, like zero in on it. Mike, the programmer, probably doesn't have these problems. He's like, I did it right the first time. I don't understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, go on. I mean, maybe I'll be like, oh, that's the one. Downloaded complete. Okay. I mean, I'm a human.
God.
Hey man, I failed. I played The Witch in the 100 Night, and then I played it for an hour and thought it was the worst thing on the planet. Then I went back to it 8 months later and forced myself to beat it, even though I drained my life. So, and that somehow that game's getting a sequel, not Nintendo related, but I don't know how or who funded this, who had the idea, but never buy or never play that game and boycott it. Okay.
I
will
will say,
like, boycott it outright.
I don't care about Eli playing Celeste. All right, I was on Facebook and I scrolled down and my man turned into casual scum playing Fortnite. All right.
Okay, so by the way, I do not play Fortnite that much, but it has become like a household staple where someone like one of my friends is part of a fraternity, and so they would play all the time. He's like, Eli, can we download Fortnite on your Xbox? And my Xbox is out in the in the living room, and I'm like, sure, yeah, I don't care. So literally everyone started playing, tons of it. I played, so nobody had taken first place. I played 3 times. The first time I took 78th place. It was pretty bad. The second time I took 10th place, and the
Pretty
third
good.
time I played, I took first place out of 100. So then I like kind of dropped the mic and stopped playing the game because I'm
Bro,
like,
there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
put
At least you went out with a W. I played PUBG. Well, that's pretty badass. You know, like it got so it's basically a 1v99 PvE. Like, yeah, not PvE. It's technically player versus player, but like free for all. And essentially, this is the only reason why I decided to vote for The Last of Us is because these kind of games like PUBG and Fortnite, I felt like the multiplayer was really akin to it, and it's turning into a new wave of what like multiplayer is today. So that's where I was like, you know what? That's where The Last of Us has some influence. Not it's crappy single player and overrated story, but it's multiplayer. And so I was like, oh, Eli played it. Like I just like kind of like had that connection. That's why I secretly voted for TLOU, not only to play the devil's advocate, but because I think like the multiplayer kind of like is making the landscape for those kind of games.
Well, I
He
appreciate
was
that.
only fake hating on the game this whole time.
Fake
He's
hate?
trying to
Dude, it's a great
backpedal.
multiplaer game. Just never,
Yeah,
never
sure,
play that campaign.
sure, buddy.
Yeah,
Fake
oh,
hate,
boy.
and Mike is our fake hater. Oh man.
I will. So the one thing I'll say about the match I win though is I literally fired one shot the entire game, and it was the winning shot, and with a shotgun.
Wow.
Dude, you can win those games like that though, man. Like you can be like, all right, I'm gonna hide or I'll be in the boat. Like you just like you can watch people kill people, you pick their stuff, and you're gonna be like, but obviously when you're the last 2 people, you're gonna be like, all right, it's time to use this bad boy. So the thing is though, like you get dropped off from the air and you have nothing, and you gotta like start like I don't play Fortnite because it's casual scum and only like 7th graders play it where I live, but I play PUBG and essentially the same thing, but it's just a little bit harder. And so you'll basically it's like Clay drops from an airplane. He's like, oh shit, and then he goes into a house and he finds like a shotgun, some armor, you know, this, that, and this. So Clay left. He knew he got eliminated first though. He's back. So yeah, Fortnite is free though. That is also why it's a bit bigger than other stuff. I think you only have to pay for like one other mode, but technically it's free, so anybody can play it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the other thing I played, lots of gaming this week. The other thing I played was a little bit of the Shadow Colossus remake. I got about 4, I think, Colossi in.
Nice.
There's still problems with the controls, I would say.
Oh my gosh.
Because
20 years later, and they had 2 chances to do it. They had a remake.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that's played the first game knows that like there are problems with the controls.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're better, but they're not great yet. The game is still really great. And the thing that really impressed me was the visuals. Like, I thought this would just be a crappy remake. But the visuals are really, really impressive. It's like kind of crazy how much better the game looks compared to its PS2 counterpart.
I played it on PS2 like 2 or 3 years ago because everybody puts it on such high regard that I got a copy of it and played it, and it does have pretty aged graphics, like not pretty, opposite of pretty, like kind of ugly aged graphics. A lot of real, PS2 getting pushed to its limit. But what I found weird about the game was I enjoyed it. I didn't finish it. It's kind of a one-trick pony. And if I would have played it maybe in its era, but what I want to know from you is one thing that struck me playing it like literally maybe a year or 2 ago for the first time ever and getting about halfway through it was it reminded me the way I don't really care for Twilight Princess because I feel like the overworld's really empty and I get really bored just riding around. Did they change anything like that, or is it still kind of just like a really
so the gameplay itself
empty world?
Yeah, so the gameplay itself is pretty much all the same. And I actually really enjoy the world. I think that's kind of what's part of the beauty is the fact that you're kind of alone in this world. And it is empty, but I kind of find that appealing in this game. I get why I could turn people off, but yeah, in terms of that, they didn't change any of that.
All right. Yeah, I clearly other people like it because the game is a legend, and I got that impression quick surfing a few reviews of the new one that you're playing now, and I got the impression that they didn't change a lot. They kind of kept the same atmosphere and everything like that. It wasn't a deal breaker for me. It was just kind of like, really? Like that was my feeling after hearing so much about it. Like when you see a movie everyone's been telling you for your whole life, and then you're just kind of like, that was the big deal, like for real, like that kind of feeling, like it was like, I like the mechanics, but the camera is really wonky on the PS2 one.
And
I don't know if they fixed that. It is.
Yeah.
That made it kind of hard to want to go back to. I quit on it kind of because I was like, after like the 5th or 6th Guardian, it was one of the ones where you had to, it was the Guardian. I think the final one I finished was where you had to like run through a tunnel or something. There was like a little mound in the center. I can't quite remember. You had to like run through little tunnels and then pop out the other side or something, or maybe run over a little mound. It was like you were in kind of a forest clearing and you were fighting him. I don't know. It was all right, but the camera was really tough to work with, and I kind of got over it at that point. I was like, okay, I got it. It's a cool game, but I never. It's laying right here. I have my copy of it, but it's really hard to convince myself to want to go back to it at this point. I'm just like, want to look at it. But yeah, neat. Are you gonna finish it?
I will. I just have been focusing on Celeste since that's the newer game and what I wanted to talk about. But I do really love Shadow of the Colossus, even despite its faults. So yeah, I'll probably finish it. I don't know when though.
Cool. Yeah, someday.
Yeah.
All right, so now that there's a break, I have a message. Should I reveal it for next week, or should I reveal it now?
Yes. No,
Oh
you
my
should
God,
reveal
no,
it right
you-
now.
Yeah, do it now, man.
You should reveal it right now.
We want to know who
All
wins.
right.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll,
So-
please.
So let me go back to my notifications, whatever. I'm totally.
You clearly
behind
didn't read it yet.
time. No, I did. I was just looking. So I messaged four different people. All like about 1 minute separated, so fairly close. They're all very different people. Not that you'll trust me because you won't really know them or anything. But
All right, man.
the first one to message
got
is
it.
actually the first one to message me was actually Kylie Mail or Kylie Daniel.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
So,
Former
I'll-
guest.
I'll read his
Former guest.
message. Actually, maybe I'll block out the game and then I'll say the message, block out the game, and then say it after. So
Okay.
he said, "I never played either one, but I'll go with blank. It's one of those games I've always wanted to play, but never got around to.
That's
And,
come on. That's
that's-
freaking
That game
I'm gonna
would
guess-
in fact be."
I'm going to guess he went with Kingdom Hearts.
No, that's
Hearts.
the world ends with you. Go on.
It's the world's end with
Read
you.
context.
What?
How can you get?
Oh.
Okay, I'm done with this. Asking a random person who has not played either
Two of
game.
my games
If
are
you've-
now
if you've
qualified
got-
on absolute flukes.
I am done with
Mike?
asking people who have not played the game. I
But-
understand that people in the podcast have not, that's fair. We can't keep asking people who have not played either just to be like, oh, for shits and giggles. flip a
Hey,
coin.
the last person did not play either game. The
Exactly,
last-
I'm done with that. That's what I'm saying. I'm done with that.
you say
Now that
you're
I
done with
find
that as
someone
if
who
I've done it like 7
either
times.
or game.
I can't.
Hey.
Well, if you got a better idea, I just go with the first person
I am
who
done.
replies.
But the thing is, look, we're voting for the greatest game right here, and we're asking people who have not played it, and we're gonna be like, "Yo, do you think this is great?" They're gonna be like, "I don't know." They're gonna be like, "Okay, if something looks like crap and something looks like gold," and they're gonna be like, "Well, what do you think is better?" And in reality, the crap might be better. They're gonna pick the gold. Okay?
This is look. We're just having the Mario Party of game tournaments. All right. It's just like roll the dice. Somebody randomly wins at the end. It's gonna be great.
No,
it's
it's
the
not
Mario
about
Party.
randomly winning. It's about me winning. Okay, God.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I think this is like the first game Mike
Super
had
Mario Galaxy
eliminated.
2 wins. I'll give you that, Mike. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this was gonna happen. By the way, that would happen if there's a tie for Galaxy 2. I'm a 99% sure some random Jimbo. Okay, it's gonna be like,
Well,
Mario Galaxy 2.
no,
okay?
no.
And they're gonna go
For-
back to typing with their feet. All right, and playing shit games. Okay.
Mike, if we get to the last one and it's a tie, we'll not message a random person. We'll do something unique. Because I don't want to leave the
Let's have
last
a
one
poll
to,
for the
to
week.
chance.
Or let's
Flea
have
is our
random-
final time.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
I'm
But
tired of
let's-
Jimbo not knowing jack shit about actual good games. Okay.
Oh,
But
this
I
is
won't give you-
great.
How can you not played either or? That makes no sense. Even Clay has played Kingdom Hearts, so there was no excuse that somebody else is playing it. Not playing it.
Anyway,
So
I can't.
So-
I can't. I don't know all the people on my Twitter follow list that have played the games I'm gonna list or not. So, whatever.
All right. All right.
Mike,
Moving on. What?
Mike, what have you been playing besides Let's Ditch This
Are we
Game?
talking to me in my rage
Yes.
right now?
Yeah, it's probably not a
Did
great
you
idea, but
Well,
Did you
like I
play
said
Kingdom Hearts this
before,
week?
don't.
I was playing that Young Celeste, the B-side stuff. So not enough about that. But I also was playing some Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I got to pick that up for the PS4.
Are you ready to play 27 different versions of Goku yet?
Oh, bro! I mean, I already made 2 Gokus. I run Super Saiyan Goku and Goku Black with Vegeta on my assist.
Oh my
But
gosh.
no, I think so. Basically, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is like it's made by Arc System, so the people who made Persona 4 Arena and stuff. And they're a bit more of a simpler fighter, but it's also obviously all fighters can be simple and complex. Like this one is like actually really simple, and then it could get mega complex. And basically, just think of it as the better Marvel versus game because Capcom did bad with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But I think the game is like it's a must buy for anyone who's a Dragon Ball Z fan. Like I'm a huge DBZ fan, so I was like, oh, this is great. And the thing is, it's such a great fighter that anybody can get into it. It has a cool story mode. It introduces a new character. You can listen to it Japanese or English. It gives you that option. You don't have to pay for it, which is a miracle because most things today are like, oh, well, you want the Japanese audio? Here, give me $10. Like, nobody wants that. Besides, DVZ's whack in Japanese. I'm pure American scum when it comes to that. And then let's see. I've been playing my usual Oversplotch. I did play some PUBG. And I finally started Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Not bad. I mean, it's basically the same thing as Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like, I'm a bit interested in the story, actually. I think it's got me a little, like, both started off really well from what I can remember. Like, I remember I played Xenoblade before it got to America. So, like, my knowledge is, like, way past old. Like, even though I got the 3D version, I just never played it. It was just like, I'm like, I didn't really like it as much as the last story, but I wanted to get like an RPG that I could kill my time with. And it was like Secret of Mana finally came out. So I've only played about 5-6 hours. I'd say I'm still like pretty much in the beginning. Like, I don't think I'm like past the actual introduction of the game. I like it so far. I mean, I just think Xenoblade's a bit overrated. Like as I played it, I'm like, I don't get how this game got a sequel or like why people loved it so much. But I mean, as somebody who's played a lot of JRPGs, I get it. It's just I think it got overhyped for the wrong reason, and it was the wrong game that people wanted from Project Rainfall. So you should pick it up. I got it on sale. I know, like my plan really is to play it and then just give it to my friend and be like, oh, here's a gift. In reality, I just don't want it. So,
You're like,
so
yeah. Trash.
Yeah, basically, it's like I can't throw this away yet, you know. Like honestly though, the funny thing is I wanted to replay Mario Maker. All right, I was like, now I'm like looking at my Wii U, dude, and I was like, I don't want to plug in my Wii U for just Mario Maker. And then I thought about it, I was like, dude, I'd rather play GameCube games or Wii games over Wii U games. And I was like, wow, that's bad because I like playing my old Nintendo games. But I was like, man, I want to play Super Mario, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, the worst one. I was like, I want to play that more than I want to play anything on my Wii U right now. Or like, and it was just like, it just made me upset the hell the Wii U wasn't as good. I'm like, well, there's Wind Waker HD, which is an amazing remake of it, but so I had that slight reality of the Wii U actually not being as good. You know what I mean? Rip. Other than that, I want to get Secret of Mana, but I feel like if I get it for the Vita, I'm going to be the only guy who bought it for Vita, and you guys will see the software sales, and it's going to be like one Vita. And you're like, I know that guy. Okay.
That's why you should do it.
Yeah, right? I'll be famous. You're like, yo, who's that guy? I'm like, guys, please.
They actually like write you into the NPD numbers. They're like, and this is how many sales of, it sold 40 or 400,000 or I don't know, 100,000 sales on PS4 and one by Mike on the Vita.
Wait, what did he get it for? The Vita? What the hell is that? I don't even know what system that is. I really
the
want
devs themselves are confused. They're like, wait, we released it for the Vita?
Yeah, right? They're like, they didn't even know. But yeah, the next game, like, that's on my list, though, to be honest, is Owlboy. Like, yeah, it's like another indie, but it looks really unique. Like, I don't know. Like, it looks kind of cool. Like, from the trailer that just came out for Switch. Like I know Switch is trying to bring out like a lot of indie games, like Duck Game, which came out on the PC a while ago, and they're trying to bring Towerfall. But Owlboy looks pretty dope, even though it just dropped last week, and that's on my to play list, or like probably next play. Like I just want to finish Celeste 100%. So
nice. Yeah, I like the look of Owlboy. The weird thing is, so far there isn't like a ton of news for Nintendo, except that everything's coming to Switch, which is weird.
Yeah.
So we're still in this phase of like not a ton of news before when the Wii was not, before the Switch, when there was like nothing coming to the Wii U, and now everything's coming to the Switch. But it's still like you can't just report on every game is coming, because then it's like, let me take 20 minutes to tell you the 50 games that you could just read are coming out.
A few years ago, like we would have had a news segment about a game coming to Switch, like for real.
Well, you meant two Wii U, or it would like
sorry, to Wii U. We would have been talking about the game they announced that's coming to it. Now we're like, we don't talk about
like, hey guys, Meme Run is coming. Let's spend 15 minutes on this.
You're like, whoa!
What do you guys think?
Okay. I can bring out the real news here, because Sonic's considered Nintendo now, right? And Sonic the Hedgehog movie, November 15th, 2019.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
It's gonna be a train wreck. Did you see the fan made one?
Repping Emmy Oscar winners.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? I don't know what you're smoking, Matt.
Did you see the fan made one?
No, I have not yet.
Oh, that was also like real and CGI. And I think it's only like 30 minutes long, but it's like, man, this looks really, Sonic looks really bad.
I got a few random Nintendo news bits. I got a few brandos. Let's see. I know people who wanted to get Rhyme, which you shouldn't because it's free on PlayStation. So, but I know they fixed that. They also updated Doom from our man Clay, so he could play motion control. So he's like, "Yo, you remember Metroid Prime 3 and how terrible it was? Well, now you can do motion control with Doom." And now Clay's really happy about that. So, just be on the lookout for Clay playing motion control before Labo. And then, the other thing I was gonna say was rumor Sonic racing game. So expect a new racing game coming out for Nintendo Switch. So that's
I hope that's coming, because I really liked the other one, but unfortunately,
the Sega All Stars.
Yeah,
I've heard it's actually really fun.
It is really good. I'd say it's probably better than Mario Kart 8, to be honest. But
that's fair. I mean, Mario Kart 8 on Wii U is trash, but Mario Kart EX,
I don't think it was bad, but it's just a lot more. When you play the Sonic one, it's just a lot more dynamic, and there's so many more things going on, where it's like each lap is basically another track, because it changes if you're in the air or in the sea or on land or something, for the most part.
Oh, that's badass, actually.
So, and then you go to Mario Kart, and I'm like, oh, I'm still on the same track for 3 laps? I mean, it's not bad. It's just like, oh, right, I have to deal with the thing not changing and staying the same. Just
okay. And the other thing is, people who were looking for Mega Man Legacy, Capcom confirmed that it'll be bundled, both of them, on the Switch, and it's coming May 22nd. So it's going to be, the first collection will be a Switch cart, but the second one is the download, and it's $40. That's how when you buy it. Otherwise, you could just buy it separately for $15 and $19.99.
That makes no sense. But
I don't get it. Hey guys, here's the first collection. Oh, sick. Yeah, but here's a download code for the last few. Oh,
it costs more, and you don't even get it on the thing.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be like, well, we couldn't add everything in that. Like, I mean, we need to pretend that we have good online sales. Cut that part, Capcom exec.
So that was a little bit of a news segment, but Unoclay, what have you been playing?
Hi guys. I've been playing a lot. It's been a few weeks since we've been together, so I won't get into it all. I played a lot more Zelda. I'm closing in on the end of the game, or roughly thereabouts, probably another 10, 20 hours.
Maybe
but I got
I saw some of your Twitter updates.
Maybe there's like 4 bosses you don't know about, but you wouldn't know because you're not exposing yourself.
There could be, but I know the number of shrines, and I only have 15 more shrines to go, and I want to brag and say I'd never turned on that.
Are you kidding me?
Only and
wait,
you guys.
So tell me, how many shrines are there?
90, right?
No. Do you want me to tell you?
120.
Yeah.
Oh, they're 120. Okay, I got the number mixed up. Okay, so then I'm not. I thought they were 90, so I'm at 75. But I don't have that cheap ass shrine tracker on there. Like I turned that stuff off for you casual.
To be
just
fair,
ended,
you're
man.
also
Just
taking
ended
like
your
2
torture.
years to
Stop
play
playing
it.
that.
Yeah, but I'm only at 110 hours. I'm just taking my
gosh.
time, bro. Taking my time. But anyway, I'm playing.
I can help you out. You walk to Ganon's castle. He's right there. You kick his ass, and you're like, "Wow, I'm done with trash." And you'll be
I'm sure I can
free.
finish
Your
it.
shackles will be free.
I'm sure you can finish. I'm loving it though. I love the game. It's amazing. But everyone knows that except for Mike. But it's okay. Moving on. Want to get so we can get to the news. Played a lot of Rocket League while super drunk with one of my good friends all night the other night. That was awesome. Metroid 3DS. I've been putting some time in on the exercise bike. I played Metroid 3DS remake. It's pretty good. Got my Atari.
It's good. Like I said, it's good, man. Just too much emphasis on that uppercut, dude. So much emphasis.
Yeah,
on
it is. It is. I mean, but I'm enjoying the exploration. It's a fun game. It's it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's Metroid. It just sucks. Like I'm like, I still didn't feel OP with everything, and I'm like, damn, I still gotta punch these guys. Like
you are OP, but then they handicap you a little bit with like energy drops. So if you drop your energy really low and then save the game, then you kind of have to fight your way back out of that for a few minutes where you're like, I got to go around and farm energy.
That not bothers the crap out of me too. That's different save stations from energy stations. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
That's the funny thing though. That's kind of actually accurate to original Metroid somewhat.
Too, yeah.
You know, like that you got to go find energy and you're going to die if you don't. And but anyway, so it's been fun. I've been playing out while I ride the exercise bike for a little break from my job during the day. I got my Atari 5200 fixed, which is not the Atari everyone thinks of. It's the one that was kind of like not a super popular Atari, but it's my first console I ever quote owned. It was my grandparents. Got that fixed. I've been playing with that.
Clay, do you want a CDI Philips thing, like the bad Zelda game?
No. I've thought about getting one but those Zelda games for it are kind of expensive.
$300, I've heard. They're like
kind of expensive. So it's like that's the only thing I'm like dying to play ever on it. So like,
so if you ever hit the lottery, that's the thing you buy first. I got it.
I want one. Trust me. I Googled it a couple times and was like, oh, that's too much money for that crappy ass game. Like, but you know,
but you'd be a legend. You would be a legend. It's certain.
You got to cut yourself off. You got to cut yourself off somewhere. But yeah, maybe someday. But because one of those Zelda games, two of them are like $300, and then the third one, like I forget the name of it, is like $800. I think. Like it's off the charts. Like one of them is like really rare. So
you know what? I did dumb fact, but I was watching Ego Raptor play, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I just shelled out $300 for." He's like named Wand of Gamelon or something.
Yep,
and he goes, "They give you like the thing is it doesn't come with a controller, like man, you know, like the system comes with like it looks like a PDF display thing, like you know when people get presentations and they click for PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. And then if you actually want a controller, it's like another $150, and it's not even a controller. It's like it's a think like the SNES style, but like instead of the D-pad there, because Nintendo owned the D-pad, it's like a weird pop-up button that can go in 2 directions or some shit.
Oh man.
It's garbage.
I've never seen one.
It's hilariously terrible. Like I never knew how bad it looked until I saw it.
Yeah, it's an awful machine. It's famously broken and it was poor development. There's tons of history out there about the like development hell that device was and the reason it sucks so bad. But I don't own one. Maybe someday. It definitely has crossed my mind that I thought it was funny, but clearly other people have thought it's funny too because those prices are crazy for those games are insane.
Oh hell yeah, man! It turned into one of those folk legend. No, there's a better word. I can't think of it, but yeah, you know.
Right. It's kind of just like it's a collector's item. I mean,
that's because of how bad it is or some shit.
Yeah, totally. But anyway, like a trophy almost like that you got to have in your collection. You know, yeah.
Bro,
but
if I came to your house and you told me you had that, I'm like, holy shit! Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crossed my mind. Just let's stop talking about it because then I'm going to be on eBay all night, like trying to figure out.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, yo, somebody's gonna put it for $200, and that shit is mine. Okay?
I got too much else to buy, but played more. Moving on, I played more of Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, which I talked about before, and I used the controller mat that you so generously sent me for a Christmas present to play it with 2 other friends, which was perfect since we had 3 of us. My friend and his girlfriend were over, and that game is kick-ass awesome for co-op play. It's called Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. I feel like it gets overlooked because there's so many great games on Switch. But if you need a co-op game, look it up. It's hilarious. The art style is hilarious. It's really, really fun game that you could do great videos of, because there's a lot of yelling at each other the whole time you're playing it, like where you have to time manage together. You know, you're yelling to the person who's managing the shields, like, get the shields up, and you're yelling to the guy that's the gunner, like, come on, dude, you're shooting in the wrong direction, and there's someone's got to be driving, and the whole game's based around not having enough time to get everything done. Time management. Like there'll be aliens attacking you and everything. I've talked about it before, but I just want to give that game some love, because it is just LOL complete fun when you're playing with friends. Because and I'd recommend to anybody who's a medium good gamer, if you do pick it up, start it on hard, because I played it at first on easy with one friend, and we're both decent at games, and we were just ripping through it. It was fun, but it was only fun because we were like going for the 100%. We weren't just running for the exit. But if you put that sucker on hard to start, it's legitimately hard, and you won't be able to 100% it unless you're really, really good. You'll actually have to make those kind of decisions as a group where you're like, we don't have enough energy to survive another wave. We need to go to the exit and leave and cut our losses. And then one player in your team is like, nah, we can do it. Let's go rescue let's rescue all the bunnies. You have to rescue bunnies. That's the basic idea of the game. It sounds ridiculous, and it is on purpose. But and you get into those debates where like, look at our energy meter. Like, we can't survive like any more hits. Like, we're gonna die if we go back in that minefield and like try to save anybody else. We got to go. And it's fun for that reason alone, that you have to work together. There's a lot of team discussion before you even encounter enemies. You're like, okay, who's going to drive? Like, okay, who's going to get the guns this time? Like, you can't forget to do the shields this time, all right? And you're like, I won't. I'm sorry, last time I forgot, that kind of thing. But super fun game, couch co-op only. Unfortunately, it's not online, so it's more for that situation. And moving on, since we've been at this for like quite a while now, I played a lot more Doom since the motion controls came out. We can kind of hit that up in news or whatever. And that's really it. I played a bunch more games, but it's been a really busy couple of weeks since we met up last, and I've been working on my Elgato, recording skills and putting together some videos I'll put up on a YouTube channel one of these days once I got enough content ready. So, so I've been playing a lot and videoing and taping and all kinds of good stuff. That's it.
Cool. So we'll just go into news and then maybe do some quick announcements after. So there's a rumor, we know Metroid Prime 4 is coming. However, there's a rumor that due to some info on someone's LinkedIn page from one of the developers, actually I don't know how that makes any sense, because I don't think we know the actual team. But basically, from a LinkedIn post, apparently there's a rumor that Metroid Prime 4 is going to have multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
Metroid Prime 2 actually
that worked out really well last time.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of if Metroid Prime 4 had multiplayer before it?
What kind of multiplayer though?
Online multiplayer.
Oh, like the Hunters game? Like for DS?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's basically like free for all or teams, or same thing as Prime 2. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, like what did you? I'm curious what Eli was getting at. Eli was getting at like that was bad. What were you referring to specifically? Were you referring to?
I was just joking. Yeah, no, I was just joking about Hunters for the DS. But
okay. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not too into Metroid as it is, so I can't really opine too much on this. But I guess if there was like an objective-based multiplayer, I think that could work if it was done in a unique way, like as we talked about before in The Last of Us or something like that. I don't think that like there should be a standard first-person shooter multiplayer mode or anything like that in Metroid. I think that would just go poorly. And overall, I think Metroid is known for its single player, and I don't think that it should really deviate from that too much.
Yeah, the Hunters I played a bunch of, and it was hard to control. And I know what you mean when you said that, because I liked the Echoes. It was very vanilla, like multiplayer, shoot each other, run around in a maze. Like, but my friend and I would play it a little bit. I never played Echoes itself, but we did play the multiplayer version on it a bunch of times together. I liked it okay for what it was. I mean, it's Metroid, It's like you had your missiles, you had your your prime style weapons and stuff like that. It was fine. Like you're saying, I'd rather have it be. Well, you're saying you kind of like don't care about it. I'd rather have it be at least interesting, something unique. Like I would love like objective based co-op rather than even competitive.
So like whatever the 3DS one, Federation Force.
Okay, like you remember
Right.
you guys remember Halo 3 or Halo 2 where you could just play you're actually playing the campaign, but you could have the co-op. It would be either the Arbiter. It would not be like, oh, I'm also Master Chief. Like he was part of the story and you do missions together, but like you don't have to do co-op. Are you talking about like that? Because
I
it
never
would
played
make
that,
sense, but
so
you
I hear what you're saying.
You can't have two Samuses though, but like
Well,
it would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind like, oh, co-op mode, and it's just like, let's say your power suit are in Samus, and then like they're a color variant, and you're both doing the same thing. However, Metroid Prime's all about being open 3D world. It's not really mission based. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes,
Right.
it is mission based per se, because you're
Perhaps
limited
you're-
by your power ups, but I just don't
Perhaps
see
you're
how
forgetting about the
multiplayer-
Phazon-based Dark Samus. That would be obviously a second player, my friend. Like,
Yeah,
they are-
but you can't. But like, I thought about this, but Metroid Prime can't be a co-op multiplayer game. It's like the same thing with like Legend of Zelda. Like, I can't have two links in Ocarina of Time, and I'm gonna be like, all right, man, I'm gonna go do the full Corkery Forest level. Can you go to Hyrule and go get some rupees? Like, your mother up and doing the slingshot mini games while the other guy's fighting a boss. In the
well,
dungeon.
here's the other thing I want to interject with. A lot of people have been saying, like, based off of the stories of 3 and some of the other games, that they expect Sylux to return in Prime 4, so he could fill that role of, the second character if they had co-op. I think this article was mostly talking about online multiplayer, but could have different versions of multiplayer. So I could see them having him as a character rather than just, like you said, here's another Samus or some generic character no one cares about.
Here's Samus.
Perhaps you guys also forget that Zero Suit constantly fights regular Samus in Smash Brothers. Like, I don't know what you're talking about here. They can be on the same. There can be multiple Samuses.
The story is Samus gets ejected out of her suit and it gets possessed by some like virus, and she has to fight with it.
Or maybe they could
that's
give
Dark
us like
Samus anyway. What am I talking about? Weird
exactly.
stories.
No,
This is Metroid game.
maybe they could give us. Maybe they could give us the thing we all want, which is a chance to play as Adam, Mentor from Metroid.
Yeah,
The other.
he just tells you not to do things.
Clay, I had to go grab a slice of pizza. I have to interrupt. Clay, you were wrong. All right, Samus plays here with his hot girlfriend. Okay, Metroid plays with his hot girlfriend, Samus. All right, dumbass. And you know anything about? All right, that's Metroid in Smash that you pick with the suit, and that's his hot girlfriend, Samus.
That's Metroid.
All right? Dumbass. All right?
Why
I'm like, I
Metroid-
click
can Metroid
Metroid.
call?
All right, he charges his beam. Cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got me, Pizza Boy. All right, I'm for it, Matt. To answer your original question, I'm for it. What do you think?
So I don't care either way because I'm probably not going to play the game anyway.
You're not gonna play Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah, probably not.
What?
Yeah, I'm not really much of a Metroid person. Although I did like the multiplayer in 2 because it was just fun to play something like
I
that.
feel like Matt said this before, so I don't feel as shocked.
Yeah.
I know.
But
know.
the thing I'm more interested in is, so we know the Switch Online has been delayed to September, and so far there's really no online games that Nintendo has up their sleeve. All the games that have currently been announced that will have online, which I think is just the Mario Tennis, like people are going to be done with well before the Switch Online comes out. And
Sure.
even like Splatoon, I'm sure plenty of people will buy it just because of Splatoon to continue playing it, but by that point
Right.
it will be like a year and a half old. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a drop off like, oh, I got to pay for it now. Well, I got enough. I got a year out of it or whatever.
Smash.
So yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna have to have some games to like promote it. So the 3 I thought of are Mario Kart 9, which is probably not gonna happen. Smash Bros. Or Pokemon. Smash and Pokemon being
Wow.
more likely. I don't know.
Wow.
I will be curious to see how Pokemon works, if you'll be able to trade online without paying for online, or if you have to pay to do anything online. Because if you have to pay to trade online, that's going to be a real pain in the butt for people. But then again, I don't know if just paying to battle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it would be a pain in the butt if it was just simple functionality like that. To be fair, they already charge for Pokemon Bank, whatever it is, $5 a year, and coffee need to move that to Switch like ASAP.
True.
But
it's a
I
storage
think that
unit.
it would be pretty crappy if they charged for even that basic functionality. I mean, that's pretty much as much megabytes as like sending a message would be, you know? Like it's very
like
basic.
really scummy like that. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we could see them doing it. It wouldn't surprise me since other companies would probably do something similar. But you know, I think that it would definitely be unfair.
I would
You guys
say,
don't-
you go, Clay.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna let
You guys don't-
Eli go out because I know
Sorry.
he has to go.
Yeah, sorry, it's midterm week. I gotta run.
Yeah.
No
Talk
worries.
to y'all later.
See ya.
Catch you later, Mr. Eli.
So
So you guys don't anticipate that a Pokemon game would have more features?
Hold on. Let me
that-
before we go
Sorry.
into that. Yeah, I just want to wrap up what I've been. My point of bringing those games up was, basically Nintendo has no games that would be worth playing or paying online for because they don't have any games to play online for by that time. So I'm guessing something has to give, and Metroid Prime 4 is definitely not going to release this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, well, we need more games to justify paying for online, so, why not shove in some online multiplayer in that? It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. I mean, it's not like a weird game to have online in, so who knows about the credibility of this, but I wouldn't be surprised because they're going to have to put online in some games, because most of Nintendo's games are like single player or mostly local. Like Yoshi, you're not going to have online multiplayer in Yoshi. Like that's not going to work. Right. So I don't know what other games they could put in. So they have to start doing it with something if they want to justify it. Even though it's a smaller price point than the other competitors, it's only like 20 versus 60. It's like if you're gonna charge money for this, you have to justify it, and to justify it, you have to have the games.
Look, I could agree with Mario Kart 9. All right, well, eat this slice.
Mr. Pizza Face.
I know I can't agree with Mario Kart 9 because there's no way there's no point of making a Mario Kart 9 right now. Now, Pokemon, that makes sense. However, I'm gonna have to pay $20 a year online now so I could freaking fight people like on Pokemon. Like I could just play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. The game's not completely dead yet, and still, you know what I mean? It's cheaper, and it's like I already have a 3DS. Like, why would I do this?
Most people aren't gonna think that way. I don't think. I think most people will be like, yeah, finally I get to move on to the Switch.
Oh,
but
that's
I don't.
True.
Yeah, Pokemon is a weird one because I don't know how many people battle online with Pokemon, and
I know people
have a lot of
more
interesting,
and then I do battling online.
Yeah,
so
for
I know
sure.
That's really big.
And I know there are some games that, even though like PlayStation might require an online subscription for online, there are some that are like, we have these online features, but you don't need a subscription. It's very few, but that's why I'm confused with like Pokemon, with how they'll actually do it, because
Smash
I don't know, that would be hard. Like, you gotta pay just to trade.
Why online for one game? You know, like, yes, you're gonna have it. Oh, now I'm gonna lose out on Splatoon and that, but like, maybe, like, say they do Smash, because recently Emily Rogers is like, oh, Smash Switch is about to be, and she's like a pretty big on the rumor mill. Like, I'd say she has like a 25%, 30% usually, right? Because I remember you mentioning Emily Rogers a few times as well. So she said, oh, it's going to be announced and all that. Again, though, like, okay, that's one game, you know? Like, maybe the games build up. But guess what? The online function games, most of them came out pretty early for the Switch, you know? They were year one kind of stuff, like Splatoon and Mario Kart 8. And now I would say, oh, man, I feel betrayed. Like, I've had Switch, you know what I mean? Like, even though I knew this was coming, I've been playing Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon since, 2017, and now I got to pay online? Like, it's bullshit. You got to think about it in that way. They have to transition it into a way where it doesn't feel like I'm getting gypped just because they are supposed to put online.
Well,
and,
yeah, I think. Sorry, I'll let you continue.
Oh yeah, no, and like the way I look at it is like, all right, maybe they could do something similar to what Xbox 360 did. When you buy these games, they give you a month free online. Like, yes, $20 is not a lot, so maybe a week transition. Remember, like Xbox would be like, if you bought Halo 3, they're like, oh, he was 2 weeks or he was a month free. It's like, oh, that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? I can extend my subscription. Now, in reality, I wish there was a Mario Party game coming out, but like you said, Mario Tennis. Okay, now like I don't like it. Just sucks because I wanted the online originally for Nintendo, and now when I look at it, I'm like, all right, I really wanted it more for the VC, and now, yeah, people are gonna buy the $20 subscription for the Virtual Console, but it's got to be good. It's got to be good, and there's like the Game of the Month stuff. It's got to be transitioned in a way where I don't feel gypped as somebody new crossing over. Like maybe they'll add an Animal Crossing with better online features or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that would be pretty cool. Like I don't really like Animal Crossing, and nobody likes it on mobile except for females, apparently, according to like a lot of studies. Like I think it's like 89% of people who play Animal Crossing still are female. But I don't think I think they've already missed the window of opportunity of transitioning this clean, and they need to do something. Like you said, Mario Tennis is not a way like, oh, like here's online, here's Mario Tennis.
And
like,
it's coming out in the spring, so you're not going to be playing it for that long anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be done before the summer's over.
And like Mario Kart 8 is like it's dropping as well, so it's like Mario Kart 9 possibility. A Mario Party would be amazing, but it's got to be something like Pokemon or Animal Crossing, and then it's got to be good. Metroid Prime, even if they did PvP online, who cares? Like, I mean, people are buying Metroid Prime for what you said, Matt, for single player, and that's what I buy most Nintendo games for anyway. So.
Plus, Metroid doesn't sell a whole lot, so it wouldn't even matter. Like, I think they sell like 1 million or 2 million copies. It's like, okay, that's not going to do enough.
I don't know. Like, the name is big, but the sales aren't as big as people think.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering. Like, I think they delayed it because they're working on the service, or because they want to launch it alongside like another big game. Because that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think they might also
holiday kind of thing too. Like it could be like the next. They're not going to have a Mario for the. Mario's come out in every 3-4 years, so. Yeah. And so we'll see how it goes. I think Metroid is the game we have to expect because we already got our Mario and Zelda, so we have to fall back. Kirby doesn't really count, even though he's already having his game coming out. Mm-hmm. So Metroid's our next holiday buster, in my opinion.
Yeah. I wanted to add a point to that. I don't know if they'll add like other new online features to older games like Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon to be like, hey, I know you have to pay for online, but here's some cool new features for you to play for specifically for those games, or maybe just overall features that are more interesting than just we stole online and now you have to pay for it. I know that sounds weird, but I'm thinking they might have some sort of Miiverse type of weird component where it's something no one would really think of, but it like makes the online experience like more interesting. I'm thinking they have to do something like that for people to be more interested in buying it, especially if they're only going to have like 1 or 2 games with online by that point.
Like, I know we're all buying it. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, I will play Mario 2, Mario Lost Levels. I'll play that, especially if it's a game of the month with Mario VC. And, $20 a month is not a lot to us, but yeah, for the average consumer, like, once again, also not a lot, but it's got to be something enticing to it rather than just like, well, we restricted these games, so
yeah.
You want to play them? I'm like, I do, but like that's not cool.
Yeah.
So you guys don't like. I guess like if I was going to imagine a Pokemon game coming to Switch, I was a little surprised because from what I'm hearing you guys say, I don't hear you sounding like you're expecting it to be some departure from the standard formula. Am I right? Because I would expect something really different at this point, given the radical reinvention of Zelda, the really back to like an ancient, not ancient, I'm saying it wrong, back to a classic style of Mario we haven't seen in a long time, like really, really going back to a Mario 64 style game in a big way for big wins with everybody and everybody who's played it. You're not thinking that maybe Pokemon would go the route of doing something completely like a little unexpected, not just another one of these like routine, like, you know, Diamond Pearl, whatever you guys are always into, not making fun of it, just don't know much about it. Like where it would be more like a party based like RPG, I would imagine, and then bring in the online through that door, be like, well, this is a game you can play with 3 trainers at, you know, in a party or something like that. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I mean, has there been a Pokemon game like that ever? Like a co-op Pokemon game besides the stadium games or the fighting game or whatever?
There's been like 1 or 2 adventure games, like, was it Gale of Darkness or something? Right?
Yeah, but nothing.
But
where
they weren't
it's, like,
really well
co-op.
made.
Yeah, nothing like you're thinking of where it's like co-op adventures. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some. So I'm kind of expecting them to do something different, not because, you know, Mario and Zelda are doing it, because Pokemon Company is like its own thing, like
Sure.
a separate company and all that. But I think they will, simply because the Switch is different, and they already tried doing something different with Sun and Moon. So basically, every other game before, you fight 8 gym leaders in gyms, and then you go to the Elite Four.
Then you become the champion, and then you hunt legendaries.
Yeah.
Now I actually like that a little bit more.
Oh, hold on. I was just gonna hold on a sec. So yeah, for the most of the other games are you beat the gym leader, 8 gym leaders, and then, you know, basically beat the game. Whereas Sun and Moon, you do have sort of gym leader people, but rather than the objective being, oh, you just have to beat the gym leader, it's like they change it up with each one. It's like, oh, you gotta find, you know, a bunch of collectibles for some reason, and there's a bunch of trainers sprinkled, or one of them is literally like talk to some lady and she just gives it to you, which is funny.
Yeah, there's always random NPCs that give you something.
Yeah,
they're like,
it changes up.
Look at the trash can. And I'm like, oh shit.
So I'm kind of expecting them to do something different, but at the same time, I don't know how much they will actually change, because they don't usually change all that much. They'll add a couple of new features, and that's kind of it. So we'll see. I don't know.
Would you?
I don't know what they
Would you guys like it? Let me put it this way. Imagine what I'm imagining. I don't know. You know, obviously I'm the pokey nerd here, like the pokey dork who doesn't know crap about it. But I'm imagining a game. Like, I have such limited experience with modern RPGs, so I'm imagining when I look at
Pokemon's archaic, though. It's one of the simplest. RPGs.
It looks archaic to me, and so what I'm imagining is something along the lines of like Earthbound style gameplay, where
whoa. Earthbound is way more advanced. Earthbound way more.
Okay. Well, like Secret of Mana, something like that, where each player can play as one of the team members.
Oh, okay. Make it like. Okay, I thought of something like this a while. Clay, I'm with you, except not Secret of Mana, I'm thinking, even though that just got remade. I'm thinking, why don't they do something Chrono Trigger style, where it's live RPG, like Pokemon, like the TV show. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, in the anime, the cartoon show, they call out the attacks, and then, like, they do counterattacks. It's like, oh, that's awesome. When you play the game, it's like, Blastoise do Hydro Pump. Okay, well, the other Pokemon has a higher speed stat. So his scissor hands, I don't know, or his tackle or whatever, it goes first. Then your Hydro Pump comes down. You're like, okay, but it's a general rock, paper, scissors. I was thinking if they made a new Pokemon, they make it like live action, like the TV show, where you can counter, you know what I mean, moves and all that. You're able to move around the battlefield. It'd be really cool that way. And then, you know, now make it a fully immersed online world if you want to do it like that. And you're like, oh man, this is online Pokemon. Like I could do my 1-player adventure, but I'm always online and I can interact with other people. That's what I was thinking they should do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a lot of work though. But you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, like
yeah.
It's an MMO RPG, but it's not really. Like, you all get dropped into Pallet Town, so like all of you are around there. Dragon Ball Z technically has that too. There's a lobby of 36 people, and there's little chibis of everyone's avatar running around there. But you could be waiting for your online game, and you could see like 200 people in the training room area, or you could see like people playing the arcade. You know, I was thinking it's like that. So like everyone starts off in that area, and you're like, oh shit, how did this guy get this cool stuff? Or you could watch other people's battles and all that. But that is a lot of work.
I don't know if they do that, but I'm thinking a compromise would be if you're physically like near someone else, you could both appear in each other's games and then move around. Maybe not in like the usual overworld, because I don't know how that would really work. You would be 2 different points in the games, but maybe like if you're close to each other, you can go on like some other special thing, like I don't know, you can do co-op Safari Zone or something weird like that. I have no idea.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I just wanted to get your opinion, because like I know what you're saying, like Pokemon is its own company, but this is the era of Nintendo getting to do what they should have been doing on every console ever. But they've been playing it safe. They were trying to find their way. It's been a long road for Nintendo. We all know, the last couple generations has been a real up and down roller coaster for them, trying to figure out what exactly the company should be doing. And they know they've hit it this time. There's no missing it anymore. It's a year into Switch, and we've hit gold, and the system is crazy popular, and Pokemon company's not
cool. Like, bro, even my boy who's hardcore gaming, he's like, yo, I'm thinking about getting the Switch. And I was like,
yeah,
like he's never owned a Nintendo thing. Like, I think maybe he had the 64, like maybe.
And see, that's the thing. And the boardroom at Pokemon Company sees this too. And Pokemon boardroom was probably not so sure what they were going to do with Pokemon when Switch dropped Zelda on us. And you've got to think that would give them the inspiration at this chance. Like, if we're going to change Pokemon ever, or try something different, or go off script a little bit, this is a chance, like this is the chance, like right here. Like, imagine if the 3 of you guys that are the 3 of you podcast members that are into Pokemon could be in the same room, or even online with the online service that led us down this hallway here, like playing, an adventure Pokemon game together where you have your own screen, so you don't necessarily have to stick together in a party, but it would be some kind of like, or even a roguelike. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like you could, that they could put something out, like even a smaller game that would be more like, like I said, like a roguelike where you'd work together, the 3 of you, and like, I don't know if Pokemon's making well enough.
I'll
but
put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to keep saying I wouldn't be surprised. I think they will do something interesting like that, but more in a spin-off game, because they do have the Mystery Dungeon series, which is random as all crap. Like, whoever would have expected that? So I do think they will like toy around in that way. For the main games, I don't know. It's really weird. I think they will do something interesting. It's just a matter of how far will they actually take it. Because from my experience with Pokemon, they usually only do like, here's a neat feature, and then like drop it the next time. So they have a lot of one-off features, is what I'm saying. So Matt, I don't know how far they will actually take it, especially because it took 20-something years for them to change up just the gym system for Sun and Moon. So yeah, I don't know how far they'll actually take it, but I do expect more like online features, or at least local features, at least a feature that's unique to the Switch. Actually, I don't know, it's weird because they've only had Pokemon games on handheld, so what does the Switch actually bring different that the other handhelds
what can they do
like,
when it's docked? You got to think about it that way.
Yeah, because that's a weird situation, because it's easy to think like, if you go the other way, like, oh, I used to only be able to play this at home, but now I can play it on the go, and now I can, meet up with people and interact with them.
Like Mario Party, which they haven't made yet, but they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's like, how do you go backwards? It's like, oh, we could take this on the go and basically anywhere we wanted, and now we can play it at home. It's like, okay, so what are the benefits of playing at home that you couldn't do on the go? Besides online, because you could just play online on a handheld, sitting on your couch or whatever. doesn't have to be connected to the TV. So I guess the question is, what could you do with a TV you couldn't do on a handheld? I think
It's hard to
that's
say.
a hard question to answer because you basically have to. I don't know if you're really gaining anything from that, or I don't think you have access to something you didn't have access to before. Basically,
I think the thing that you could do, well, that's where I just keep coming back to this idea, and I don't want to derail the whole podcast so we can go on and on about this forever. I'm just thinking of this past weekend. My friend and I are playing Rocket League in the same room, and we don't need a second TV, and we don't need to do split screen. We can play the game dynamically in real time together and completely be on different parts of the field. And that's what I'm imagining, something like any kind of game can capitalize on that. It doesn't have to be some radical reinvention of technology, but you could be playing a game where you're working together and you each have your own screen. And that's as simple as any RPG where you could have multiple characters in the party or something else. But I mean, we've gone on long enough to speculate about, I don't know enough about this to speculate appropriately, honestly. It's just, I'm interested to see. I'm hoping for you guys, you get whatever you want, but I'm trying to say, well, what do you want? At this point, like, what is it? Like, it's hard to think of the thing you don't know yet.
Yeah.
That you wish they'd give you. And to me, if I was playing these games, I think at this point I'd want a Pokemon game where I could play it with my friends in some form, other than like the fighting game knockoffs, that have been, like the didn't seem to really resonate too much with you guys because it's not really the same thing. It's completely different experience to play the Pokemon fighting games and stuff, obviously, Pokken Tournament or whatever it's called. So I don't know.
I'd say just a lot more co-op maybe not mini games, but like co-op, I guess mini games, as it were, something like that. Because you don't really have a lot in Pokemon. It's just like you do it yourself. Like at one point, I think it was Ruby and Sapphire, you could dig for fossils, and fossils you can turn into other Pokemon. So you could go like underground, I think, with your friends, and get a bunch of different things other than fossils, like different money and gems and other things you can use throughout the game. But maybe different features like that. There were also bases in Ruby and Sapphire as well. You could visit other people's bases.
Cool.
That feature hasn't returned besides the remake. So I could see things like that. I guess things like that are what I would want to see, mostly because it's easier to think of something that already exists.
Exactly. Yeah, that, like, who would have said, it'll save Zelda? Climbing. Who would have said that, before they gave it to you? And it's like, now I play Ocarina and I'm like running into walls because I can't climb and can't figure it out. What's going on here? I don't know how to get up this wall here.
What ruined Zelda? Climbing. You know what also ruined it? No dungeons. You know what also ruined it? No music. You know what also ruined it? Barely any story. Good idea. You got a game. All right. There you go. Breath of the Wild. Right. 2018.
Mike's like, you got a game with everything and nothing all in one. Way to go.
Yeah, basically. Clay, you wanted a game where you could just exist? Breath of the Wild.
Oh man, what else we got in the news bank before we wrap this up, Matt?
Most importantly, Mike, it doesn't have fishing. That's why it's trash.
Yeah, exactly. All right, fishing mini games. You get one bottle. Come on, that's classic Zelda.
I think we'll wrap it up there for this week because it's a long enough podcast as it is.
Long podcast.
There wasn't really much other news. Maybe I'll bring some of it on for the next week. Depends on what's happening that week. But you can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and Source Gaming, sort of. I'm working on stuff for them, but it's not. I'm not working on a review or anything, or a video, technically. Whatever. I'm working on some behind the scenes stuff that'll eventually come out at some point. So
cool.
Follow Source Gaming for that and other translations, and they got some cool content. Mike, where can people find you?
All right, guys. Find me at on Gaming Night Live on YouTube or Twitch, or on Troy FB7 or Troy Filibuster on Twitter/Twitch. So you'll find a brother. Let us know. Let me know. I'll be playing that young Oversplot. You know what it is.
All right. Unoclay, where can people find you?
Unoclay_Switch at Twitter. I post funny pictures from games occasionally, and I'm not a big Twitter spammer. So feel free to follow me and not get overloaded with content. That's my pitch. I won't overload you with content. I'll send you a picture occasionally, and you'll be like, neat.
Once a month,
That's really...
you might get a tweet, and it'll probably be flooded under all of your other tweets.
Yeah. It'll be buried, and eventually I'll start posting some videos here. I'm working on learning this Elgato, so get ahead of the crowd and sign up for Unoclay_Switch on Twitter to get all the latest updates on what I think about the pithiest little thing I saw in Zelda. That's what I can promise you.
Right.
That's it.
All right. So
All right, boys. Have a good one.
See
Good
ya.
seeing. I missed the cast 2 weeks. All right, we back.
I know. I try not to have two. I try only have 1 week break if I can, but I had a very weird schedule and I didn't want to. Whatever, bad schedule. So that's what happened. But wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on basically every platform on the internet. Hit us up with your questions if you want to be a guest at Just Another Castle or me at the Mango Viking, and follow our Twitter account at Just Another Castle so you can be a tiebreaker, and maybe Mike won't get pissed at me the next time we have to do this. So until next time, leave luck to the heavens and leave gaming to Nintendo.